Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is John. I'm a filmmaker slash creator and your host for Make Limited Podcast, where we talk about how to change our circumstances when life happens. In other words, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Today, we're talking about our human purpose in this world. Welcome everyone to today's podcast. I'm so glad that you're here today. It is an exciting moment today to talk about our human purpose in this world. I believe this is something that is going to change your perspective of how you see your world in any place that you live in. Because I believe in a sense this is something that is for every single human being in this world, and we all need to listen to this because trust me, it's gonna change your life, change your perspective, and it's gonna make you a completely better human. And I think these are very essential things that we need in our lives because sometimes we grow and we just live our lives without a purpose. And that's something that I grew up always trying to think about. What is my purpose in this world? What am I meant to do? And I never realized, and it never dawned on me that as a human, as a society, as being part of the species of the human race, there's a purpose that we have in this world. And within that purpose, we are to keep what that purpose is and let everything that we do cater to that. In other words, if you're looking for a career, if you're looking for something, it all should be pointing to the human purpose in this world. Why? I'm going to tell you why, and stay tuned because it's going to be amazing. And I'm telling you, it's going to be something that you probably have never heard or seen or even imagined it to be this way. But it's very simple. I think that it's so powerful and simple that you will understand it completely. Again, it's going to transform your life. It's going to change the way that you think for the better. And this is what we're talking about today, okay? Our human purpose in this world. So, with no further ado, let's begin. Alright, guys, so for point number one, I want to talk about the first human purpose that we are to be in this world. And the reason why it's so important to talk about this is because, again, I believe that so many of us have the question of what is our purpose in this world? What are we meant to do? What is it that why do we exist, right? And this is something that I want to give you because I want you to jot it down. And for the next week, until we get to our next podcast, I want you to think about this because it's going to be something powerful that will take you into a deeper level in your life for purpose. And it's going to be super amazing, I'm telling you. So, very simple. I'm going to talk about two things today. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the first one right now because I just can't express it how important these two things are in our lives. But at first, when you hear it, it's going to sound simple. But I'm going to go a little deeper into it so that you can understand what it means to do these two things. Okay? So, I have two things for you. Okay? It's very, very simple. Okay? It's not 100 things that you need to do. It's not like, oh my goodness, I need to have a humongous list. These two things are literally going to set your life into perspective and going to give you like a light bulb that is going to turn on in your head and you're going to be like, boom, I know what I need to do in my life right now. Okay? So, let's do this. Number one is our human purpose in this world as number one is multiply. Okay, like I said, it sounds very simple, but let me go deeper into it because there's no other way to do this than to talk about it. Okay, so multiply. Number one in multiply, let's go a little deeper, is to keep our species alive. Okay, that is one of the main reasons why we multiply in this world, right? It sounds like common sense, but it is true. It is the same reason why the government will pay you for having kids when it comes to taxes, because you are literally, what is that word? You are not, well, I guess not benefiting. You are in a sense providing or making, helping society by making uh, kids, so that we can keep our species going. So you are helping our society doing those things. And I don't know if some governments do that in the countries that you are in at the moment. You can always let me know in the comments, or you can send a message to me, let me know. But here in the United States, the government does give you in your taxes, after taxes, it gives you for each kid that you have, because you are literally, you're helping society by, you know giving more humans into this world. So number one is to multiply, so to keep our species alive. This is something that we do as humans, as one of the main purpose, to multiply, right? We need to keep our species alive, keep multiplying in the sense of literally, so that we can keep on living in this world and keep on doing that. Number two in multiply is help take care of this world. And this is my main reason why I say uh, to keep our species alive. Okay, so we're not just multiplying to keep our species alive for no reason. See, the main purpose is to help care for this world, and we can't do that without people. Okay, we can't do that without our humankind race. We can't do that. So we need people to care for this world in order for us to keep on living, right? We need to care for this world, the water, the trees, even the grass, what we do for our animals. All of this is important because it's in the world. It is something that we need to care for so that we can keep on living in this world. And in that sense, we learn, and number three is how to govern. And in a sense, we learn how to govern because we need to take care of things. Okay, so when we take care of things, we have to have a system in place to care for each one of those things, because we're talking about a world that is humongous for us little tiny people in here, right? And we need to care for it, and it's a humongous world, and we need more people to keep on caring for this. So as we talked about, number one is multiply. One of the human purpose, is to multiply. Okay, and in that multiplication, there are three things that really define it. And number one, again, is to keep our species alive. Number two, help take care of the world. And number three, learn to govern. Very, very important things that we're going to go actually deeper into the learn to govern. But this is point number one. Okay, very simple, very to the point. Pretty much there's no other explanations or other things that we can really go into depth than these three things that are for multiplication. So again, number one, human purpose, multiply. All right, guys. So number two, very very simple. Again, I said very simple because this is like so mind blowing on how simple it is, but yet I think in some points we overdo something or overcomplicate it and overthink it, that we miss the mark. And it's very simple, and that's why it's going by super quick, because these are simple things that we just do as humans. Okay, so number two, point number two, subdue the earth. Okay, conquer the earth. Okay, and in this term, the subdue or conquer the earth, we are to do something that I'm going to talk about right now because I do want to give you a definition for subdue because when I saw this word I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, well, what does this word mean? So the word subdue means overcome or bring under control, right? And you know I was looking at it and I was thinking, you know what, this is something that we need to get into because in this simple concept of subdue the earth, to conquer the earth, we are to do something that means overtake, right? Overcome. So what does that mean? What do we go into this when we conquer the world? Because when you hear about history and conquering something, you literally overtake something, right? For example, in our history, where a kingdom would attack another kingdom to overtake their territory, there was things that when they would overtake it, they had to take in mind, into consideration. Okay, number one, they had to, when they came into conquering a world or came to conquer another kingdom, there was things that they needed to take into consideration. So these are the things I'm going to talk about right now for humans to take into consideration when we are taking, in other words, when we are conquering this world. What do we take into consideration? Okay, so I'm going to relate it to the kingdom because it is, and in a sense, in the same manner that we are to look at things when we're doing this. So as we're conquering this world as humans, number one, when a kingdom conquers another kingdom, they need to take into consideration conquer to care. Okay? Conquer to care. Why? Because think about it. A kingdom governs its own self, right? It takes care of its own people. It has to. But when it conquers another kingdom, and yes, let's say they win and they're so amazing and they win that fight and there we go. But the things now that they have to care for is that they have another kingdom, and in that kingdom they have other people, and in this other people they already learned something different. So when they come in and they bring their stuff, they need to teach those people how they run their kingdom so that they can uh, run the kingdom the same in that area. Not only that, but now they need to see how the economy is doing and how can they help, right? Which means they're going to have to use their resources to help this kingdom continue grow, and not only that but offer protection. So that even means that they have to train people or they have to bring people to this other kingdom that they conquered so that they can help them out to teach them the way they do things, right? So in a sense, when we conquer this world, right, when we conquer to care, it means that whatever we are conquering, we have to provide the care for. Okay, this is the same thing that I was talking about in the multiply, uh, to help care for this world and learn how to govern. Why? Because we need to learn that just because we conquer something does not mean that we just don't care for it. Sometimes I think that our definition of ruling is I'm going to tell other people what to do and that's it. And that is not the case. You know, it it comes down to a place when if you're going to take over someone or something, you have to provide everything for that particular place, person. You have to provide because you're going to be ruling over it, right? You have authority over something. Now you need to take care of it. And that's something that when it comes to conquering, I believe we don't think about. We just think about, I want to be over this and I want to be over this, but everything comes with a process. And that's something that I want to talk about later in another podcast. But just to go in a little bit into this, but not too deep, that everything has a process. Everything in its own has a development, and that takes time. Okay? And I want you to think about this right now. What is it in your world that you have declared either consciously or unconsciously that you are the ruler or the owner or the conqueror of something. What is it? Okay? Because whatever it is, are you caring for it? Or are you just declaring that you are the ruler or the conqueror, or you are the main person, the head of something? Okay? Because all of that comes with care. All of that comes with a responsibility. So, think about it. You are going into a place, conquering it, ruling over it, means you have influence over it. What are you influencing? What are you telling that place to be? And are you providing for it? Because sometimes we want to tell something, or someone something, or we want something to be done a certain way, but yet we don't teach them. Yet we don't bring them into that care of teaching, showing them, and then going to the process. Going through that process of doing all that so that they can know what to do, right? So when it comes down to for us human to conquer in this earth, we need to think about the means of the conquer to care, because it's very, very important. Number two, we are meant to rule the world, not humankind. And I think this is something that we need to keep having this in our life, right? Because we're meant to multiply, right? We're meant to keep our species alive, help take care of this world, and learn how to govern. Okay? And the reason why I say this, we're meant to rule the world, not humankind. Why? Because we are all the same species. We're all in this together, and we're not meant to rule each other. We're not meant to conquer each other. And that's why you have division. That's why you have wars, because we want to rule each other, and people don't want to be ruled. Why? Because we were not meant to be ruled by humankind. That's not our purpose. Our humankind purpose is not to rule one another, right? But it's to work together. Work together to care for this world, right? The more we multiply, we have to learn how to govern. Why is it important that we have to learn how to govern? Because we're living in a huge, humongous world, literally humongous, that we are like little specks in it, and we need to learn how to take care of it. So what comes to the place of taking care? Well, we need leaders, and we need people who can take orders so that they can help this world, right? That's what we need to learn how to govern. There needs to be a place where someone can lead a certain group to do something, right? Now, remember the key words, we need a leader that can lead someone to do something, right? Not we need a conqueror. We need someone who tells people what to do because they're slaves. No, that is wrong. That is the wrong perspective to have. Because in order to govern, you need somebody to lead, right? And in that leadership, they need to learn how to take care, not rule over humankind. Again, take care. When we are leading, we are caring for the people that we're leading. We're not ruling the people because we have the title leadership. That is very different, okay? We are leading, not ruling. Okay, that's what we are not meant to rule humankind. So number two was we are meant to rule the world, not humankind. Okay, why? Because again, we are meant to take care of this world. So we have to learn how to govern, how to have groups of people do certain things in this world so that we can care for it. That's why it's very, very important. And the next next point that I'm going to give you, because it's gonna bring you into a place that is gonna solve a lot of problems, a lot of questions of what we ask is, what is my human purpose? What am I meant to do in this world? What are my skills, and why do I have these talents? And what do I do with them? So this is gonna solve that answer right now. Point number three. Work together in a common goal. Okay? Work together in a common goal. Right? But how does that solve my problem? This is how I solve your problem. So we always ask the question, what's my purpose? Well, our main purpose is to work together in a common goal. So, career-wise, job-wise, think about what you're meant to do, right? If we're working together, right, in a common goal, then that means we need to do things that will help our humankind live, right? For example, I'm going to start a restaurant because I'm going to help humankind live longer and be fed by eating the food that they need, right? That is why my purpose, I want to be a restaurant and feed people so they can keep on living and do what they need to do in this world. Boom. Work together in a common goal. Another common goal would be like, well, I want to help people because I know that I have a talent, I have a gift in, let's say, for example, science. I love science. I want to learn more about this world, or I want to learn anything in the field of science, and I want to help our humanity through there. So what do? You go to college, right? You get a master's degree, a doctorate degree, and you learn to help our world through science. Does that make sense? Same thing with technology. Same thing with being a doctor. You want to help people to help our world. We help our world by helping our people, and our people help to help this world. Okay? But there is, again, we're learning how to govern. Learning to govern does not mean I'm learning to rule the world. Learning to govern means exactly what I said. I'm learning to find my place on where I can help this world. Does that make sense? So when you're looking for your purpose, look for your purpose is, where can I help this world? Where can I help humankind? Some people choose to have kids. Some people choose to have schools that have kids, right? And not have kids like schools to have kids. What I mean by that, don't misinterpret, please. What I mean by that is, you have a school that can teach kids about the education that can help this world, right? And that is the working together in a common goal, whether it be a career, whether it be a business that you start, whether it be anything. Think about how you can help this world, or how you can help humankind to help this world. You're still learning how to govern within that. So remember, learning how to govern is not having a government that teaches you how to govern or tells you what to do. Learning how to govern is you find your place and where you can help this world. That's what learning how to govern means. Okay? And that's why we have I believe we need to have a system that does this, because it's something that we've never seen as humankind in our life. And if we have, it has been a long time ago. And ever since then, we have tried to make our ruling of humans instead of the ruling of this world. Very different perspective. I'm telling you, today is a very, very powerful podcast, because I'm giving you a different perspective that you probably haven't thought about, or even our government hasn't thought about. Why? Because we focus on the ruling of people, and we focus on how to make money, how we can keep this economy going. But the truth is, we need to think about it backwards. We need to think about how can we help our world, and what can we do in the sense to learn how to govern to do it. So our misconception of trying to rule, we have turned it into ruling people instead of ruling the world. And when it comes to ruling the world, we want to rule territories, and we want to rule areas, and we want to be known as the govern of that area. But in reality, we're thinking wrong. That is not our human purpose. Our human purpose in this world are two things: multiply and subdue the earth, conquer the earth. And that's it. Within that area, we are learning where our purpose is as humans. What do we do to take care of this earth? Each and every one of us has a passion within us that tells us do this, do that, do this. That's why we have entertainment, but we've been thinking about entertainment the wrong way. We think about glorifying people because they have amazing talents, but the truth is that as humans, we are overwhelmed by our work that we have here on this earth. So what do we need? We need something that helps us relax. We need something that helps us, get ourselves together so that we can keep going. And we forget that entertainment is a way of releasing that tension, releasing that stress that we have done in our purpose so that we can relax and go do it again better. That's what entertainment should be for, to help release the tension. That's why when you hear music, you feel a mood, you feel something, because it's supposed to release the tension, it's supposed to release and just kind of switch your mind into relaxation and put you at a state of, peace. Why? Because that's what it's meant for. But we have turned this entertainment world into something that it should have never been. Where we think about it as, how can we trick people into, buying stuff, and how can we make more music so people can buy stuff, and we try to make merchandise, and we try to make this, and now everything is turned upside down, and we're trying to benefit from this world instead of helping it. Right? That's our main purpose. That's where it all fits into. But it's been corrupted because we want to look at ourselves as the only species that should be alive. Now, there have been articles that they have said that in about 50 years, we will be, not will be, but there is a possibility that we'll have fewer animals than we ever had in our history of mankind. Now, I'm not trying to give you this speech so that you can feel bad and you can do this. I'm trying to give you this speech so that you can know your purpose as a human in this world. And how can we turn this around? Because I think the question that we all ask, and even I had at a time, what's my purpose? What am I meant to do in this world? And I narrowed it down to two things that completely changed my life and how I see it. And this is something that has really transformed my life and what I do and how I think in what I'm doing. Because it makes me think further into why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it makes me examine myself and be like, am I doing this for self-glory, for self-fame, for self-indulgence so that I can have what I want to have and be selfish in doing that? Or do I want to do something that's going to help society? Am I going to do something that's going to help my fellow humankind? So that's the question that I want you to think about today. So take that question with you when you ask, what's my purpose in this life? Now you know. To multiply and subdue this earth. And within that, we're going to work together on a common goal by choosing what we want to do. All right, everyone, you have reached the end of today's podcast. I'm super, super glad that you were here with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know today was a very, very powerful podcast, and we're talking about our human purpose. It is the question that we all humans ask. Why are we here? Why do we exist? And these are two things that I wanted to share with you because I know they will solve a lot of questions that need answer to. So one of the two purposes that were very simple for us as humans was multiply, to keep our species alive, to help take care of this world and learn to govern. Number two was to subdue the earth, conquer the earth. What did that mean? It means conquer to care. We need to, if we're going to conquer something, we need to learn that we need to care for it, because we're going to be ruling it. Number two, we are meant to rule the world, not humankind. Where we don't rule each other, we're meant to rule this world, not people. Number three, work together in a common goal. This is how we live in our lives. There is a place for everyone, a purpose for everyone. The question is, how do you want to help this humankind? How do you want to help this world, right? Either we help our humankind by helping them do their jobs better, or we want to help this world by doing something for it. And that was what we talked about today, and we hope that you were inspired, you were motivated to be better humans. And again, thank you so much for listening. If you are still wanting to listen in other areas, you can listen to us on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and much more streams that you can listen to us. So share. We need this word to go out to everyone, because I know people need to hear this. It's going to elevate their lives and make them a better human. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, you can go to our website on makelemonade.podcast.com, and you can literally see our podcast there. You can sign up for our email, and you can get notification on what is coming up, and that's going to be amazing for your life, because you're always going to be ahead of the game. So thank you so much for being here today, and we will see you next time. Peace.